Hey guys, meteorologist Doug Heddy. Want to give you guys an update on severe weather threat that we have as we go through the rest of the evening hours into the evening hours, into the overnight hours for us tonight. Most of this threat is not until after 7 p.m. and majority of the threat isn't until after about 10 or 11 p.m. for us tonight. As of right now, we look okay. We have a lot of clouds. First off, make sure you like, subscribe, and ding that little bell so that you get notifications, because most likely we're going to be streaming tonight on YouTube, either on here, depending on if I'm at home, or on the KOAM YouTube page if I'm at work, because we do have a pretty good severe threat as we go into the evening hours. So let's go ahead and break this down, because there's a lot of scenarios of what could happen over the next several hours. First off, we just have a lot of mid and upper level clouds across the region. Had some thunderstorms this morning, a couple severe thunderstorm warnings in our northern counties, but as of right now, we're fine. Nothing's going on. Nothing's going to happen over the next several hours, but then we'll start to see some changes as we go into the overnight hours for us tonight, into the evening, into the overnight hours. So here's what we're looking at. Okay, let's look out. Let's go here. Northeastern Kansas, southeastern parts of Iowa. You can already see this line developing out toward North Platte. So this is going to kind of rotate around north central Kansas and then massively explode once it passes Concordia. The cap just erodes really quickly. But there's also a whole nother interesting aspect here, because we're going to have a dry line from Concordia, Salina, just to the west of Wichita. We need to see if something, one or two cells, try to go out here during the evening. If they do, we may have a little bit of an issue, because that's where a big tornado threat will occur. If that does not happen, which I would say chances are it does not occur, then we have more of a wind and hail threat that rolls in late this evening into the overnight hours for us tonight. So, yeah, kind of interesting. So we got a lot to kind of sift through here. All right, so let's go through time. First off, here's where the greatest severe threat is. You can see from Emporia, Topeka, just to the east of Salina, into southeastern parts of Nebraska. And then at least an elevated threat, which is a good severe threat. Kansas City, Nevada, Joplin, Miami, and just north of Tulsa, includes Wichita and all of southeastern Kansas. So let's look at the timing here. If we get any thunderstorms to get going during the evening hours in the warm sector, we're going to have an elevated tornado threat. So that's why I have elevated the tornado threat. I've elevated hail, I've elevated wind, I've also elevated rain. So if we get one or two storms to blow 7, 8, 9 p.m., we're going to have that tornado threat. If nothing happens at all, then our threat will start to go up after 10 p.m. But you can see we have a general time from 7 until 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it's before 2 o'clock right now. So we have several hours to watch and see exactly what is going to happen. I'm also looking at some models at the same time here. Let me glance at one thing here. Okay. So let's go to our futurecast. So this is going to give us an idea of what exactly could happen. So here's one scenario if we can get some storms to get going ahead of the line. So let's go 5, 6, 7 p.m. Everything looks good. But if we get one or two storms out here, so here's 8 p.m. that can roll through the region, 8, 9 o'clock, that's going to contain a tornado threat. So we got to watch that. Again, this situation isn't very likely. I would say a 20 or 30% chance that this occurs. But if it does occur, we really need to keep our eyes on it. I think most of us look pretty good until after 10 p.m. So if that would occur, it would push on by, and then here comes the main line later on tonight, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, pushing into our northwestern counties. I think that is the better scenario. So here's that scenario. Not too much occurs ahead of it, But by 11 p.m., we start to get this line of showers and thunderstorms. Now, I think our greater severe threat over a tornado threat tonight is going to be hail and wind. I still think our tornado threat is a little lower. I think our hail and wind threat is quite a bit higher. So these storms would push in 10, 11 p.m. into our northwestern counties. The main threat, hail and wind. We can't rule out a couple small tornadoes, nighttime tornadoes, which kind of stink as this line plows to the south and to the east. But you can see they don't even get to Nevada. They don't get to Pittsburgh or Parsons or Nowata until 11:30, 12, 12:30 at night. Struggling over there, Mr. Bow. Having a hard day, aren't you? So as this line pushes in, it won't even get into the metro until 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but it will contain a severe threat as it pushes in. Again, the higher threat is going to be hail and wind. So when I say hail, upwards of golf ball size hail and wind, gusts up to 70 miles per hour, which are severe thunderstorms. But sometimes within these lines, we do get some spin up tornadoes. So that is a concern. It's a legitimate concern as we go into the overnight hours. After 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, after this line presses through the metro, it should start to weaken. We could still get some severe thunderstorms, 3, 4 o'clock. So from Grand Lake over toward Neosho, Table Rock Lake, over towards Springfield. But after that, I think the line weakens enough by 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning that the severe threat drops across the region. So again, to kind of recap, and I'll give you guys another update, of course, a little bit later. I am a little bit concerned about our severe weather tonight. I'm not overly concerned, but I'm a little bit concerned. The first thing we need to watch for is, do any storms fire ahead of the main line? So if they fire ahead of the main line, that would be 7, 8, 9 p.m., 1 or 2 storms. Those would have a higher tornado threat if they can get going. Again, the chances of those getting going are only about 20 or 30%, but the chance is there. The most likely scenario is we get a big line of thunderstorms after 10 or 11 p.m. tonight. Those will have a higher threat for very large hail and very gusty winds, but it will still contain a low tornado threat as we go through the overnight hours. So this is something we want to pay attention to. The afternoon looks fine. Most of the evening looks good, especially after 9 or 10 o'clock. We really need to pay attention, maybe a little bit earlier if we get 1 or 2 storms going during the middle of the evening hours. I'm going to try to go to work. I'm going to do everything from home until the 5 o'clock news. And then I'm going to go in because I know I'm going to be there late tonight. But I'll keep you guys updated. I want to give you guys an update. I hope you're having a great Friday. And the weekend is almost here. All right, guys. Chat soon.